Good morning and welcome back to Bald Feather Bets. We'll give you a quick recap of College Football Saturday yesterday, and then delve right into our picks today for NFL Sunday. But first, please make sure you are subscribed to the channel, notifications on, so you know when we upload these videos. Like now is going to be somewhere between an hour and 30 minutes before kickoff, so that way you can get your picks in. And just give the video some love. Like, share, comment. Let me know what your thoughts are on NFL Sunday today. Okay. So quick recap yesterday, College Football Saturday. So we were 47-16, a positive day for us. Started up the early slate of games at 10-7. Had the 5 units on Illinois that did not hit. They did not get to 17 points. They got to 16 points, although they still would have not covered it 34-17. But really the main difference there was Illinois did not do the thing where they get turnovers. They turned the ball over 3 times, and Ohio State and Ryan Day had a perfect game plan. It was the best game plan of any coaching staff of the whole day, in that they ran the most vanilla offense you could ever see. And did not allow for a big noon game in Champaign, Illinois against a garbage team to derail their team or season or put them in a situation even where it was a game in the fourth quarter. Elite coaching job by that coaching staff yesterday against Illinois. And Illinois continues to be a bottom half Big Ten team. And there's a lot of analysts, as well as betting analysts, who should be ashamed of themselves for their preseason take on Illinois. Then Michigan State, UCLA, that was a 2-unit loss there. That was probably the end of the Jonathan Smith era. If you were to point back to it already hadn't been going well, but then if you were to point back to a game of okay, it's done. This was probably it. And also what we feared with Nico, Michigan State is a horrendous secondary, and it does seem that Nico at UCLA has fully turned the corner now with Neuheisel calling the plays, and he ripped them apart. But then we had Missouri. So we had Missouri at 5 units, then we added another 5 with the community post before kickoff, so we were at 10 units there, and that hit with a backdoor cover from Missouri. Thank you. I'll have more thoughts on Alabama in the Tuesday college football recap video, where we talk about more of the greater landscape of things. But Missouri got the cover for us. That got us 10-7. Then in the afternoon slates, where we really cleaned house, we had our largest unit play of the year so far with Texas. We had 10 units at -0.5 and 5 units at -1. That was one of my most confident plays of the year so far. Texas dominated that game. Wasn't really ever close, so that was a win. Then we had Indiana plus the 8 for 5 units. Obviously that was a win. Indiana won outright. I gave you guys a little nugget on, if you're a money line bettor, take Indiana money line as well. Hopefully you did. And then we had the 2 units on Kansas State at +3, and they beat TCU outright as well. So that was 22-0 in the afternoon. And then we got to the evening slate, where the SEC officials stole money from us and potentially money from Hugh Freeze and him getting fired. So we had the early evening kickoff with Florida A&M. We were looking okay there, but then A&M pulled away late. A&M was significantly better. So Florida did not get the cover. That was 0-2. We had Kansas against Texas Tech, where Texas Tech is still running the ball right now. They ran for 400 yards, and their main running back had 262 yards. So they decided to have a track meet against Kansas, and Kansas did not show up for said track meet. So that then was 0-4. And we had Auburn. Birmingham needs to investigate the officiating. But what has happened to Auburn this year in the OU game and then the Georgia game is pretty criminal, honestly. And then, even with all that, it's 13-10. If Gunnar Stockton, it's a 3rd and 4. Gunnar Stockton takes an end around, and he gets the first down. And you can see, okay, if you get the first down there, it's past the 2-minute warning, and Auburn only has 1 timeout, so you can take these and win the game. He doesn't. He goes in and scores. And as soon as he gets over the sideline, Kirby's like, why didn't you go down? The announcers are like, why didn't you go down? But I guess we got lucky by Alabama doing that last week against Vandy, so we get unlucky on this one. So then that was 0-9 on the evening, but then we had USC for 10 units. So that brought us to 10-9 in the evening window, and then in the late night and USC, yeah, that was kind of what we talked about with a Lincoln Riley run game when it resembles what he had at OU. And then we had the late night window where we had Utah against Arizona State, and it doesn't matter what you got that at. We had 5 units at -7. They won 42-10, so they covered no matter what number you got. So that got us to 47-16 on the College Ball Saturday. So positive day for us there, and we look to continue the momentum into today. I think that takes us to 235 and 176 and 18 on the year. Yeah, it's in the video when you click on it. But yeah, I think 235, 176 and 18. I think that sounds correct. And now we're starting to balance out then a little bit our college versus NFL because of the really good college day yesterday. Okay, NFL picks for today. We already gave you guys the Jets plus 7.5 for 3 units in the community post for this morning game. What do we got going on? Jets 11, Broncos 10, 13-14 left in the fourth quarter. So this one's going to come down to the wire, is what I can tell you, because the Jets are ass. So they're going to find a way to fuck this up for sure, and then we're going to be sweating this. But plus 7.5, and they have a 1-point lead. We have a chance to get it. So then what do we got next? We've already given you guys out some of these plays. I'm just going to run through them, okay? And I actually have my plays next to me. I used to just do this stuff off memory, which is why you guys would always see me looking around trying to remember what the fuck I was talking about. But I actually have it written down next to me so that I can just go through it faster. We're making improvements. I'm also thinking about getting a whiteboard, so that way I can talk to the whiteboard and talk to you and have it written down. And then maybe even drop formations. That'd be pretty exciting. Cardinals plus 7.5 for 5 units. We took Kyler Murray practice Friday and then was listed as questionable, but was a full participant, and then he got ruled out. So we took this when Kyler Murray was expected to play. He is not. You can now get the Cardinals at a better number. I still like it. Just get the better number. For our record-keeping purposes, we gave it to you at 7.5. We're keeping it at 7.5. So Cardinals plus 7.5, 5 units. Panthers plus 3.5 for 5 units, fading the Cowboys defense there. Saints plus 4 for 5 units. We like that one. And then the Browns plus 6.5 for 5 units against the Steelers. It's one of my favorite plays of the week by far. And then Ravens plus 7.5 for 3 units. I think the Ravens will show some sort of fight today, even with Cooper Rush at quarterback. Don't expect it to be pretty at all, but I think they'll attempt to field a football team, which they did not last week against the Texans. And then Seahawks minus 0.5 against the Jags. We're doing that one for 3 units as well. Seahawks on the road under McDonald. Sorry, I get McDonald, McDaniel, and McDaniels confused like on a daily basis. Seahawks on the road under McDonald have been phenomenal. Jags coming off a pretty emotional win on short rest, like that here. Do not love the travel from Seattle to Jacksonville for an early window kickoff, though. So 10 a.m. local time kick, and that's the only other longer distance to travel in the NFL is Miami. So that's why it's only 3 units, not 5. But I still do like it. And then we got Raiders minus 3 for 3 units. Again, that is we've made a decision on this channel that we fade the Titans under their current coaching staff with Canales. Fucked us last week, but that was more DeMarcado deciding that he wanted to throw his life away. And then we like the Dolphins, plus the 4.5 against the Chargers for 3 units in that early window as well. This time we are on the team, LA traveling out to Miami. We are fading that travel, and we are fading the Chargers' injuries as we continue to do so almost every week here. They may start to get a little bit healthier next week, so we may have to reevaluate. But yeah. Then as we go into the afternoon window, we already gave you Packers minus 14 for 3 units. We are adding Packers minus 13.5 for 2 more units. Jake Browning is a better quarterback for the Bengals offense than Joe Flacco. They have one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL. I do not understand this notion of why the Bengals are such a trendy hot pick today that Joe Flacco is going to beat the Packers twice. Joe Flacco had like 100 yards passing against the Packers when he was at the Browns. The Browns defense beat the Packers. Joe Flacco is probably the least mobile quarterback in the NFL, with the Packers having probably the most formidable pass rush in the NFL, with Gary Van Ness and Parsons. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but I would like, much less the Bengals winning the game, I would like to see the Bengals cross the 50. So we'll see what happens. Then we have the 49ers plus the 4 against the Bucs for 3 units. I love that one. This Bucs team is a cardiac team. They're getting way too much love right now, honestly. I like Baker. I've always liked Baker, especially during his time at OU. They're getting way too much love. And then my least favorite play of the year that I've given out so far is Lions plus 3 tonight for 3 units. My system and model has the Chiefs as the number 1 play of today, and I personally agree with it. But like we said, we do not bet on the Titans on this channel under their current coaching staff. It takes a very, very specific set to bet against the Lions under the Campbell coaching staff, because they're the best ATS team during that era. This would qualify if it wasn't for the fact that it was a primetime game, where the Lions under Campbell are like 9-1 in primetime games. But I hate fading Mahomes at home in a primetime game when he's a favorite of less than 3.5, so 3 or less, and you can get the Chiefs at -2 if you wanted it, coming off of a loss. That is my least favorite play maybe I've ever given out on this channel in 2 years, and one of my least favorite plays in the past 4 years. If you're gonna fade one today, fade that one. I hate it, actually. No, I'm not going to do it. I thought about flipping it right here, right on the spot. I'm not going to do it. Lions plus 3 units. That's it for today. Enjoy your NFL Sunday. We will be back at you again where we have a doubleheader, Monday Night Football, and the doubleheader that we like, where they do you can do the 2-box window rather than having one game kick off at 3 a.m. in the morning. So that's nice, and we'll get back at you. Thank you. Like I said, enjoy NFL Sunday. Let's have ourselves a day.